Kia ora everyone! If you haven't watched my Canadian recap videos, go do those. I did an individual one, a pairs and a teams. This one I'll be focusing a bit on the pairs competition again. Spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen the recap videos, go watch those first. Now Ulla and I paired up. We did not qualify for finals, but our teammates Reese and Sarah did. They made it to the finals. The jigsaw puzzle in question was this one, Origami Meditations by the artist Aimee Stewart. Well, what fun. Alison found a copy of it and we decided to do it. So first of all, up in like the left-hand corner, that's Reese and Sarah puzzling at the event, at the actual Canadian National Competition in the pairs final. And then down below, you see Alison and I doing the puzzle at my jigsaw puzzle display here in New Zealand. Now, of course, I will admit, we are not in the competition setting, so it's perhaps more relaxed, we're less nervous, we're on our own turf, if so to speak. But what's interesting, I thought it'd be really fun to watch side by side how we're puzzling differently. Now, first of all, I forgot to bring those boards with me when I met up with Alison. And also, I'm sorry that it's two different camera angles. I wish I would have thought to set up the camera both the same way as I did for Sarah and Reese. What's very interesting is that we both kind of really flip up the pieces, but Sarah's doing a lot of sorting. We didn't do so much sorting. We pulled out the border, and I think Alison pulled out a lot of that teapot. And in fact, you'll see that both her and Reese are working on that dark teapot in the corner. Alison also pulled out a lot of the leafy green stuff that appears above the teapot. I know she's going to work on that next. And I actually did pull out a lot of pieces. What did I pull out? Like a lot of wording. There's a ruler in the image. I pulled that out. I pulled out, there's that big book in the middle with the blue and the red. I pulled those pieces out. And then the book at the top with the origami lettering that's kind of funky. That's what I'm working on now. I pulled that out as well. Now, Sarah did a lot of sorting. As you can tell, we did not do so much sorting. But I think, you know, you never know, like in the moment when you do a puzzle. And then when you do it again and again and you do it differently, well, naturally you'll be faster, but it's like, should we sort? Should we not sort? We specifically decided not to do a lot of sorting. And we had the full table. It's the same size table that both Sarah and Reese are using as the one that Alison and I are using. We did manage to find those two little small boards to help us with sorting and grabbing pieces. And we also did have the box lid as well. It comes with a little poster, which I really love that Ravensburger is doing that now. And we're just decided that we would try to each work on one side of the puzzle so that we wouldn't work over top of one another. Now, as we're doing this, the start, Alison said it felt slow to start because this is a difficult puzzle. It's pretty tricky. Like there's some obvious things to pull out, but then after that, it's just a lot going on and a lot of colors. However, though the start felt slow, she said, wow, once we got going close to the end, it felt like we just rocked it. Like we just flew right through it, I should say. So I had started on that book, and you can see Reese is doing the book, and he did really well at that book, but I struggled at first. And Alison actually said, go do something else. So I moved on. I did something else. I left it there. But when I went back to it, I don't know if I just had momentum or I just needed a moment away from it. When I do go back to the book, I did really well. Now, one thing, I do try to communicate a lot. And I'll say, oh, I pulled out these pieces, I've grabbed these pieces, I'm doing this texture. And I do think I had told Alison that I did the zebra. There's a zebra that appears right in the middle there. It's already done, black and white. And she said at one point, she was like, oh, I'll do the zebra. And she went to look for pieces and she found like one piece. And then when she looked at the puzzle, she realized the zebra was already done. And I said, I said, did you hear me say I was doing the zebra? I'm pretty sure I said I was doing the zebra, but maybe not. And she said, well, I should have said, you know, I'm going to do the zebra, because then I would have said, oh, it's already done. Do something else. So we tried to be very communicative with one another, as helpful as possible, so that we don't like repeat our efforts, for example. Now, I will admit, I love puzzling with Alison. She is just great. She's such a great puzzler. She's really, really good. And at times I did feel like, oh, I'm going so slow. I mean, look at her side of the puzzle. It's nearly done. And sometimes I wonder, wow, if Alison had a better, faster partner, oh my goodness, she could be up on the podium. You know, I really do think so. So the next competition that we are practicing for is the New Zealand Jigsaw Puzzles Association first national competition here in New Zealand, up in Auckland, July 20th. So excited to go. Jackie will be there. We haven't met Jackie in person, but Jackie's up in Auckland. She's also coming to Worlds this year representing New Zealand. And Jackie and Alison are very close in times. Like, it'll be great to see them go head to head. And there's some other fast puzzlers up there as well. And who knows who's going to come out of the woodworks. Like, it's so exciting. We are teaming up with Jackie as well as Alison's sister, Helen. So that's going to be lots of fun. And we will have a bit of time to puzzle together and practice. But I just would love to see Alison and Jackie do a pairs together. Like, I think they would just be amazing, you know. Once they puzzle a few times together and get into a rhythm, I will admit Alison and I, we work really well together because we puzzle together all the time. You know, we know our quirks, we know what we like. You know, we're not perfect by any means, but we have come so far from that first puzzle we've sped run together. And so I will admit sometimes I feel like, oh, I wish Alison had a faster partner. Now, trust me, Alison never, ever, ever makes me feel as if I don't contribute, as if I'm not fast enough. She is amazing. So, but I'm still excited to puzzle with Jackie and Helen, and I think I want Alison and Jackie to do a pairs run together, a 500 piece. I think they would smash it. So as you see, we're coming down close to the wire, and I hope I lined up the time lapses as best as possible. So Alison and I, it took 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 3 seconds. Again, I realize it's the comfort of being in our own setting, our own environment, not at the competition. Let's face it, I'd probably be a lot nervous, but we were very pleased with that time overall because, like I said, this was a difficult puzzle, and at the start it just felt like it was taking forever, and then boom, it felt we sped up to a next level. Well, Sarah and Reese finished at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 55 seconds. So we were just a few minutes ahead of them. They did amazing at the competition, and they came in 5th overall. So here you're going to see, there's our timer, 1:22, 3 seconds. And I did manage to get that book done. Now looking at the results for the actual competition, if that would have been our time, we would have just gotten in above Sarah and Reese to come in 5th overall. So there you go. I hope you really enjoyed watching the side-by-side of these time lapses. I tried to align them as best as I could. It was so much fun doing this puzzle with Alison. I think we approached it quite well. I don't know how well we would do in a competition setting because I'm always so nervous. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. For the love of puzzles, I hope you enjoy my videos. Please consider subscribing. And until next time, ciao!